Yeah. So, what happens if an emergency is declared in the United States over something that's already here? Would emergency powers be put into place during such an emergency? That's the question right here. Good morning. Um, La Pi 2R2. Hello, Applebrooks, honey. So, there is something that is like making its way, crawling around the web, the World Wide Web, a school of thought. And I don't think it's really an unusual school of thought. What if, this is a what if scenario, and we know what happens. Sometimes those what ifs manifest into the real world. What if the president declares an emergency over climate change? What if such a said emergency is declared? Would emergency powers be exercised? Oh, yes, they would, because I think we had another emergency that was declared formally by the former president, the administration, whoever declared it. And we saw emergency powers put into action, unprecedented powers, and which superseded more or less the laws, the current laws of the land. So, so let's see this. Why is this blurred? Upon declaring that a state of an emergency exists, the president may make regulations to deal with the situation at hand. The regulations can infringe upon the rights enshrined within sections 4 and 5 of the Constitution, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, etc. So what if that happens? And you may think, well, that's never going to happen. We don't have an emergency. Well, there are people who feel the same way as that school of thought. There is no emergency. So why would that even happen? Well, it's been spoken about globally about how the climate is, the world is changing. We've got this climate. It's so hot. There's warning signs all around. And I personally, if such a said emergency was declared, oh, I would not be surprised one bit. I would not. And there's a lot of people who would not be surprised one bit because in order to deal with such a said emergency, they would be able to do that. Your rights may get infringed upon. They may, quite possibly. And it wouldn't be a nice situation at all. During the last time it was done, we were locked down. Okay, we were locked down. Um, Suggestions were made and all of that to companies and stuff. Regulations were put into place. Things were fast sped through. All of it, you all. I don't think it's too far-fetched, and that is a school of thought that is making its way. It's crawling around because of the climate, and they want to stop it. Yuval Harari, you may know who that is. I used to do some videos on him. What did he say when he was talking about the algorithms, how they'll be in complete control, and recently said, you know, the God in the cloud is not the ruler. We'll have a new ruler in the iCloud. They will be the rulers. And there will be a select few chosen, a remnant saved. But he's talking about a specific sect of society. Um, so he said, stop economic growth, and you stop global warming. That's what he said out of his mouth. So you may not follow up on stuff like that. I sometimes look, I do, and I'll see things. And this isn't a game. None of it's a game at all. When you start seeing something put out there in the news, you start seeing more and more stories written about that said emergency. Um, it's time to listen up because something's going to happen. Otherwise, they would not put it in the front. Um, Let me type something in. See if there's anything out there. I haven't really done a query on this. Oh, okay. So let's see this. I typed in global climate emergency declaration. So I think they might be talking about something like that already. It's already showing up. Oh, it is showing up. Look at this. The mouthpiece of the White House. What would a climate emergency mean? Here are 4 key points. Biden has stopped short of declaring a national climate emergency. He announces new climate change programs, but no emergency. When was the climate emergency, global emergency declared? Um, he considers, uh, wait a minute. When he considered, isn't that when he came down with you know what? Does he still have the you know what? Because, because if he went against what people told him to say, he's got himself in trouble, and that's why he got the you know what. Oh, no, 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 no. No, you all. This really is not a joke. It's not. Look, climate emergency declaration call to declare climate emergency declarations in 2247 things. The Climate Emergency Acts of 202, the 117th Congress. So what happens if it is fully implemented? And then these emergency powers are put into place. Let me, well, he is Christine, honey. He's asleep. He's asleep at the wheel. And we're not in very good hands when you have somebody asleep at the wheel driving this United States of America. He may not be cognitive able. I'm sure he's missing a little bit of critical thinking skills. Yeah. So, you all, this is, that's a scary thought. It really is, as if, you know, I don't know if the other powers, the emergency powers, are also in effect due to the last president administration issuing those emergency powers, taking that declaration. Are those also still in effect? Is what I'm wondering, because I really don't keep up much on politics at all like I used to years and years ago. Um, Shaking hands. Yeah. Hello, everyone. 7 messages in 7 kingdoms. Um, oh, that's right. We were supposed to be in an ice age by now. Wonder who changed the page. They started writing a new chapter. They overwrote what was in it. Is let's see. We could have that probably as social credit. Um, so I'm not sure what's going to take place. And you know, you can see the food prices rising exponentially. They are inflation, and there's a lot of already monetary regulations going in place all over the United States. And when you have all these regulations going in place, It does. It causes inflation. It's like a tighter grip, and it makes it hard for a person to survive. It makes it hard for a person to drive their gas vehicles. It makes it hard for people who are first-time home buyers to purchase a house. And it just like literally a ripple effect. It just makes it hard to live. And if regulations keep getting put into place, even over climate emergencies, that's going to put a further strain on movement upon the earth, how you live your life on a daily basis. Um, you don't know how single mothers, well, they can look and you can make a formula, I think with carnation or something like that. They survived without the formulas years and years and years ago. They made their own. Um, let's see. B. Isaacs, that would be wonderful if someone interviewed. If you're just intervened, if you're just tuning in, let me try to flip it. I think they even have, who is this UNEP? What what we need to do to limit global warming and act on the emergency. Um, White House is declaring it. Let me see this, you all. I don't know. I've not really looked into it, but I know I've also have been. Oh, look at that! It looks so pretty. The blue. They have been doing it. Look, no. Climate change is real and not human activities. And human activities are the main cause. No. Me getting in my car, going to the store, visiting my elderly family, parents, I'm not the main cause of it. Okay, I'm not. And neither are a lot of other people. It's the big corporations, the big whatever it is that's doing it. It's even, it's not the average human being that's doing it. It's not. But it doesn't take away the fact that they feel that we need to know about a climate emergency, about the CO2 and the fossil fuels and all of that, you all, is they got the forest fires like yesterday. I think we showed some in Italy, or was it the day before? But in 2017, those fires happened. And in certain parts of the world, there are more fires that occur at certain times. And it's always been like that, more or less. But then someone said temperatures were rising. Um, So you can see the global temperatures and all that. What do we need to do? Oh, this is the 2030. Wasn't there something called the 2030 thing 10 years ago? Reductions, conserve our natural spaces. Um, the GDP, the global domestic product is high. Um, Look at that. This right here could cut 25% off if that right there, look at all this, you all, legally binding. Um, they ain't doing their part. Countries are not on track to fulfill their promises that they've made. They need increased commitments in many different forms. Um, so I think they're serious. Yeah, I know they're serious. They really are serious. Regardless how you feel, whether you see, yeah, we need to do something, and or there's nothing there. Well, it doesn't change the fact that they're already got things in place, and it's going to have a real world effect on us, you all. They are. Everything they do is going to have a real world effect. Sometimes I get on here and I don't know if my volume is up high enough, but I would encourage you to stay strong regardless of what is coming. Wherever you're at, I would encourage you to build yourself up on the inside spiritually so you can face any storm. that comes your way in the real world, in your personal life, anywhere, and even around your friends and close family members. You want to be strong enough, and you want to be able to give them encouragement too, because this isn't a game to the people who exercise these authoritative powers, these emergency declarations. Like even at the White House, the Capitol Police now are militarized. That's why you see all that stuff all over there. And they got 3 other locations in the United States set up, although I thought they were just maintained up there. But no, they literally have it, 3 other areas set up places where they are militarized too. So this is a scary thing, what's happening with this climate and stuff. If they feel they gotta expand the Capitol Police in order to like fight climate change and stuff, to keep a toe on everything, to set up their stations in 3 other areas when they should be confined to the area that they're in, all due to climate change, you all. And you may say, Gina, that's not due to climate change. Well, they're over there in three, they're in 3 different areas. Okay, so I'm just going to say they want to make sure we do what we do with the climate. Okay, they got to, enforce it somehow, some way, you all. This world has literally been turned upside down. It has, and sometimes if you dwell on it, I'm going to be honest. If you were to dwell on all that has happened in the past few years and let it literally sink in, you're going to spiral down into a depression, because it's not the world that you envision for yourself. It's not the world that you envision for your children. It's not that super bright future. Well, it may be for some, but it's just not the same world. And it takes a while to get adapted to that processing in your mind, to process it all. It's not the same, and it's not going to be the same. It's like the old is gone. It's shoved out of the way for the new to come through. But it's going to be all right, you all. No matter what comes, and it's going to get rough, and we can do it. We can, and it's going to change as a part of life. And we don't have to necessarily agree with that change that's taking place. We don't. But we've got to make accommodations within our spirits inside here and in our lives to combat that change that's taking place, you all. We got to do it. So, with that being said, I was going to say, with that being declared, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world, hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, Apple Brooks Honey, for being on here. Thank you all. Just try to be aware enough, even though you may not watch the news, just look at maybe the headlines and stuff, read a few headlines and things so you can get a little glimpse of what's here, what's happening. You don't have to let it envelop you, but you want to be aware enough to prepare spiritually on the inside, emotionally, and physically if you have to take care of your families, the extra supplies of food and stuff like that. Thank you.